Okay, safety car deployed. Safety car's been deployed.
So we are now finally going to be getting the sprint race started for the remaining 7 laps of this race. Casper is going to be leading all of the drivers down into turn 1, and it'll just be a time of when he's going to decide to go. And I think he's gone pretty much out of the final corner, and it's going to be him leading all of the drivers into turn 1. Boomboy is going to make the move over to try and tuck into Casper's slipstream, trying to see if he can make a move into turn 1. He doesn't. Pink as well, just trying to make a move on that. However, we see Mosmegan diving down the inside of Zinx and gets P6. And it looks like Mosmegan is going to go side by side with the McLaren of Cobra. It goes down the inside, and he does get it done up into P5. And Zinx as well has a look on Cobra as well. Cobra losing 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. Now, down the straight, is Boomboy going to be able to make this move? He's going to burn ERS, and I assume he's going to use overtake as well, which he does. It looks like Casper goes very, very defensive into that, trying to break the toe. And I think Boomboy is just going to be closer. He's going to have a look down the inside. He's going to send one, and he does indeed get past Casper into turn 12. However, will Casper be able to make the switch back? No, Boomboy covers it off very nicely, as we see Mosmegan there getting some sort of contact from the back or getting some of Oversteer. And Mosmegan's going to lose a few positions as we see Cobra diving down the inside of turn 13 on Zinx. However, both of them are going to go side by side. Is Zinc going to be able to, keep P5? And I think they do for the time being. However, Cobra will be wanting to make that back as he goes down the inside through turn 17 and 18. And he just about gets it done. However, he's still going to be side by side into the final corner. And Cobra does indeed get it done. Mosmegan gets past in front. However, Zinc and Up the Owls is going to go side by side, possibly into turn 1. As we see Fetch as well in the background. He's going to have a good look on Up the Owls as well, as Fetch goes down into there, and he does indeed back down, and I think that was a very smart decision from him as well. However, Mosmegan keeps P6, Cobra keeps P5. Zinx is going to have ERS, not a lot of battery on that, as we see Casper and Boomboy going side by side as well, and Casper reclaims P1. However, it looks like Boomboy has a look down the inside, but he isn't able to get enough traction. He's going to send one down the inside of turn 15. And he, they're still going to go side by side. It was a fair, dive from Boomboy. And I think he was side by side and was, allowed to be given space. But Casper just holds on to P1. He was able to make it done. However, Boomboy has reclaimed that, looking on the player list. But also going side by side is going to be Zinx and Up the Owls. Zinx is going to make it ascend down the inside and does indeed get it done, as it looks like Mosmegan has got past Cobra as well. I think Casper's going to be going for the win here. He's going to have DRS here and is going to be, well, he's nicely burning ERS. He probably doesn't even need to, because this straight is very long and the slipstream is very powerful. And you can see there, easily breezing past as they get to the braking zone of turn 12, as it looks like Matt is going to make a move down the inside as well on the Aston Martin, as they're going to go side by side into turn 13, as it looks like Boomboy is just going to stay ahead for the time being. However, Matt with the inside line going to have the shorter run into turn 15, and that's Matt up into P2, Boomboy down into P3. I guess we'll have to wait and see. However, Boomboy is getting very, very close to Matt, as he's going to burn ERS, he's going to burn DRS as well, and Boomboy is just ahead of the AlphaTauri, and that is Boomboy up into P2. It would have been P2 anyway, with Matt's penalties, but he wants to get it done on track. However, we are going to look at Casper, who has controlled this sprint absolutely perfectly. You can see there on the right, the checkered flag is waving. Casper wins the sprint race at Kota. Boomboy takes P2, and Pink does round off the podium. And after the commentator's car crashing out, it is going to be Boomboy that is going to restart this race after getting past Casper. And has he gone now? I think he's gone now. And he's going to be leading all of these drivers into turn 1. Casper is going to be wanting to try and make a move past Boomboy once again to take the lead, as it looks like the McLaren of Pink is getting very close to the AlphaTauri. Is he going to make a move down into turn 1? No, he doesn't. However, we see drivers down the back there that are going to be going 3 wide temporarily, and there's a spin there for Sin Money, and they did not want that, as I think there was contact between them and probably the Haas of Ultra. There's been a spin there for Cobra or some sort of mistake, as Cobra goes all the way down into P13 now. So something must have happened. Up the Owls there gets a penalty, And I think Cosmo did not like that and just pushed Owls off the track, and that is going to be a massive penalty for Cosmo. Zinx is on the softs, which is the fresher tyre. However, those softs will probably be pretty dead by now, or, you know, probably just starting to drop off. I think the mediums are now starting to work, and you can see Pink there was almost pushing the AlphaTauri through turn 11, and I think going down into turn 12, I don't really think it's going to be much of a challenge for Pink as they reclaim P4. Zinc stays behind in P5, and we can see on the playlist as well, Casper has now retaken the lead of the race as well. Some pretty good racing action from the McLaren and the Ferrari. Will there be an overtaking opportunity for the Ferrari down into turn 1 as we go on to lap 9? It's going to be getting closer, enabling overtake, and you can just see the speed of the Ferrari sending one down the inside of turn 1 on Zinx. But it looks like Zinx is getting very, very close to Mosmegan. Will Zinx be able to reclaim P5? He's going to be looking for it. Going to be sending one down the outside. And that is Zinx up into P5. However, Mosmegan holds it around the inside of the AlphaTauri, as it looks like Zinx just holds it on the moment. However, Fetch is looking at this, gets a massive snap of oversteer, and Fetch will not be able to make a move with that oversteer. However, it's still going to be Mosmegan and Zinx battling it out for the final part of this lap, as it looks like Mosmegan just stays in P5 and Zinx has to settle for P6. And we switch to see Pink making an overtake on Matt, and Pink is now up into the podium positions. However, we look to see the battle up at front, but however, it looks like Zinc is going to be going down the inside. Little bit of contact there with the Ferrari. However, those two are still going to be side by side. Is Fetch going to get some oversteer as he did on the last lap? No, he doesn't. It's still going to be side by side with Zinc and Mosmegan. The AlphaTauri has the inside going into turn 15, and I think stays in front just for the time being. However, you can see Fetch there really getting close to maybe seeing if they can just follow the AlphaTauri through and maybe get a move on the Ferrari. However, that looks to be Zinx all the way up and possibly clear of Mosmegan, as there must have been some racing action between Fetch and Mosmegan that made them lose some time. But we see Matt getting very close to Pink, and Matt is going to go down the inside. And that was a pretty easy overtake, and we see Fetch there going down the inside of Mosmegan as well. Fetch now up into P5, Mosmegan down into P6. I think they may have to stop again after going on to those mediums. I think mediums won't be able to make the end, as we see a spin there, and that is Fetch into the wall, which brings out a safety car. And even though he was ghosted, he does wait until Ultra gets past, and that is not what Fetch would have wanted. When is Casper going to go? Is he gone there? I think he has gone now, and he's enabled overtake, which has signified that he has gone. Boom Boy didn't really get the best of jumps there, as Matt might actually look to make a move on Boom Boy. However, Pink is looking very close as well. But as we look down the pack, it looks like Cobra now back in the session, going to see if he can make some overtakes to try and claim back some positions that he got. As down the inside goes Fetch on Zinx. Fetch just gets... I mean, I think Fetch did have the better traction initially, but maybe he started sliding a little bit as Zinx stays in P8. Boom Boy still unable to make a move as he gets a... and that even scared me. He gets very, I think Matt got very close to the Aston Martin. And... yeah, just sideswiped him. That even, made me jump. It was just, you saw an AlphaTauri just flying down the left. And Matt is going to have DRS this time, so I think it's going to be a pretty easy overtake for Pink on the AlphaTauri. But will the AlphaTauri decide to go defensive? No, he doesn't, and that's going to be a pretty easy overtake for Pink. Pink up into P2, and Matt down in P3. Cobra past Sin Money there as well down the back straight, and that is Cobra up into P7, and I think he has done a pretty good recovery drive. Fetch isn't really closing in as much as he would have liked to, but Mosmegan, as we can see, pretty easy pass on Matt there, and Mosmegan is now up into the podium positions on track, but with penalties, I don't think Mosmegan will be keeping that P3 as they do that, as Matt gets a 3-second penalty. And I was saying it, if he does get a penalty, Mosmegan is in the podium positions, and Matt has done just that. Mosby can send one down the inside of Pink, though, and that is a lovely overtake for the Ferrari. However, the McLaren, an easy pass back there as Mosmegan had a little bit of a, glitch through the McLaren slightly there. Goes a little bit off track. Would Mosmegan be able to get rid of one of their time penalties if it was quite unfair? We do see them go side by side. Will it be Pink or will it be Mosmegan? Mosmegan is going to have the inside for turn 13 and just, gets, through quite cleanly. Then switches to the inside with the old switcheroo. Pushes Pink out slightly. And it's still going to be side by side. This is the final lap. Who is it going to be? I mean, I do know Mosmegan does have that penalty, but if they do get one removed, then that'll be P2 if Mosmegan can get it done. But they don't. It is going to be Pink. But we switch to have a look at Casper, who wins the US Grand Prix in Tier 3 of KRL. Pink finishes in P2. Mosmegan rounds off the podium in P3. Matt finishes P4. And where is Fetch going to finish? He finishes P5 on track, but with penalties. Is he going to move anywhere? He stays in P5 for now. Ultra moves below Cobra in P6, so Fetch does retain P5.